All right, well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And here with us to go through the conversation in a few minutes and kickstart the currency redesign discussion, its pros and the cons, is Okwudili Chigbowu. He's a management consultant and financial analyst.
And a fine gentleman too.
And a fine gentleman too.
And then after that, we shall take a close look at the cashless economy. Is it working or not? A chartered accountant and social commentator, Akin Fatuke, will join us for that. Then we'll take some respite, like they'll say, from our two guests, and then take a deserved breather and invite Dolly Phillips to take us to the gym. And then to round off the show will be our lifestyle and wellness segment, hostess Fero Shonuga. Today she takes on Oluwaseun Faleye, dissecting the power of reorientation. Okay.
With all of that done, John, can I bore you with one or two things that, probably happened to me and happened to a lot of people this week?
Okay.
For the very first time in my adult life, really, I'm seeing myself in this place. I can't remember when I was in this place ever in Nigeria. I mean, when I was in this kind of confusion. Seriously.
What happened, Helen?
Money is too important too. You willingly go and put your money in safekeeping in the banks.
Yes.
And when you need it, you can't get it.
You can't get it.
It's not enough that you can't get it. The attitude of the bankers, the way they tell you that you can't get your money is another thing.
And it's your money.
Will you believe that this Helen lost her cool in the bank twice? Once last week, again this week.
I thought you were going to bore me.
I lost my cool. And as I was screaming, so many other people joined me. And the bank turned into everybody was screaming.
Wow.
And then after a while, we started calming ourselves down.
And then left without any money.
And we left without money.
I mean, quite frankly, that's been the story of our lives, especially in the last few days. And when you leave the banks, you still go to the fuel station.
Yes.
And you queue, right? So you want to bore me with your
you queue, yeah. And because they're not taking transfers, they have people arranged just by the filling stations, and you have to, you're doing 10,000 naira and you're getting 8,000 naira.
Well, we'll soon get over it. I believe that after the elections, we should be able to. There's just been
after what?
After the elections, which would be March. So just drink some cold water and hang on.
All right.
Well, I want to talk about the earthquake. It's an international occurrence. It's a natural thing that nobody expects, nobody wishes for. But in Turkey and Syria, they've recorded over 23,000 deaths and millions affected after the earthquake. That is something that we must always wake up in this country or this part of the world and thank God that we don't ever have such natural disasters.
We don't have that, but we inflict ourselves with
we're
the opposite of natural is
we're like spoiled children.
Oh God.
So we don't have problems, so let's create problems for ourselves.
Incredible.
So things must change for the better, and it has to be immediate.
And before we go on, I don't know how it plays out. I hear that the Lagos State government, to help commuters, has done a 50% deduction from transportations that are federal and that Lagos State government owned. And I'm saying, what happens to the others? I mean, how adequate are those Lagos State owned transportations?
Yeah, we'll say thank you.
We'll say thank you.
We'll say thank you, but as personally, I mean, that is just dressing it's dressing the wound. That is not the issue itself. But thank you all the same.
Thank you, Mr. Governor.
That will go some way.
All right.
So, I mean, we'll dive into the program now.
Let's go right into it.
Let's get a better understanding of why we are where we are, and hopefully get cheering news from our first guest, who's seated with us in the studio. And of course, we'll be beaming our searchlight on the Naira redesign policy. So joining us, like you heard earlier, is Okwudili Chigbowu, a world-class coach, entrepreneur, professional accountant, management consultant, and a pastor. Such a relief to have you join us in this conversation at this very critical time, sir.
Thank you very much, Helen. Thank you very much, John.
You're welcome.
And viewers, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm in a hurry to get. I'm in a hurry to get the answers because it's really pinching me, you know. But I must thank you for being here. You were meant to be here last week, and something happened. We didn't have a live show, and thank you for coming in today.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so now let's get to it. We're talking about the currency redesign policy, Naira swap. That's,
so many names for it.
that's our focus. Yes. And I think, Helen, you'll allow me to, because
Please
I think
go.
it's affecting me
John,
more than,
please go, John.
It's affecting me more than So I'm going to ask you, sir.
Yes.
You know, like, you see, today, Nigerians are having huge issues with the redesign or introduction of the new Naira notes into the system. Let's get your opinion, right? First, on the timing of this initiative of new redesign, and then why now? Why now?
Wow. Thank you very much, John. You see, there's no timing, there's no better timing other than now. And that's what people will always tell you. If you had done this 2 years ago with the same implementation action plan, you probably will still get the same result. If you had done it 8 years ago, you will still have gotten the same result. So the best thing is to do it, okay? Putting into consideration the circumstances surrounding it. I'm sure people are talking about the timing, maybe because we have general election, just few weeks to the time. But let us not forget that this particular announcement was made October 2022. And we're told that by December 15th, the new currency will be available. Now, was the new currency available December 15th? I think yes. Because between December 15th and 31st of December, I went to the bank and I was able to make some withdrawal of the new Naira note. But you see, that particular timing, people were more concerned about the festivities, traveling. So nobody actually thought of, and people still had the old notes. So, well, why be in a hurry? And of course, in Nigeria and maybe some part of the world too, we wait till the last minute.
It's lastminute.com.
We wait to the last minute. Now, was the timing right? Yes or no, depending on which side of the divide you are in. Some people will tell you, yes, it's right. There couldn't have been a better time. And even the central bank governor actually recognized that fact. You remember he said it's an ambitious project. Very, very ambitious. Because whichever you look at it, you are talking about, you have your Naira in your pocket. You have your Naira in your home. They are not even concerned about the one in the bank because the one in the bank is already in the bank. You want to take the ones that are with you.
Go and swap.
Your own is to change or swap what you have with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they are telling you, go to the bank, deposit that, then we'll give you this one in exchange.
But we never got the new one.
Now, the challenge is that the new one that was released, where did they find themselves? Where are they now? Those new Naira notes that were released. And what does the Central Bank of Nigeria, what do they want to achieve? Okay. There are so many things that the Central Bank governor, about 4 or 5 things that the Central Bank governor told us that they want to achieve. Okay. 1 is cashless. Okay. 2 is they want to use this to curb crime, terrorism, kidnapping. Okay. Then another thing is that they also want to reduce the cash in circulation. They want to reduce the effects of the dirty notes, what we call in the banking sector mutilated notes.
Yes.
They want to curb that because for every mutilated note that finds its way to CBN, it will be destroyed and replaced. You may not notice that, sometimes all those mint, all those new notes that you see were actually new notes printed to replace the mutilated notes that they have destroyed. Now, when that happens, if you have so much mutilated notes in the system, it tells much about the integrity of your currency, the value of your currency to some extent. So CBN, they are there to pull out these mutilated notes and replace them with new notes. Another reason is if you have not redesigned your notes for a very long time, because CBN told us that the last time this was done was between 16 and 18 years ago. Now, this is something that they should have done maybe between 6 to 8 years. The more you drag it, the better or the easier it is for those who are counterfeiting your currency to near perfection.
Okay.
Because each time you have the note with you, some people, yes, you and I may be looking at it, okay, this Naira note, I want to use it, it's a legal tender. Some other persons have other motives. They might be looking at it and say, oh, how do I reproduce this Naira note to beat the system?
Yeah.
Hey, but
Okay, but even as old as a new Naira note, John, sorry, we're hearing that a lot of people have already started printing the new Naira notes that so many of us have not seen.
Yes. Now, you know, some of those new Naira notes that have been printed, it's expected. People will always attempt. People will do that. Now, what will they do? They will print it. It may not near perfection. They will push it into the system. And some people will look at it and say, oh, this looks like fake. Or no, I'm not familiar with this. They will retrieve it. Okay. They will go, okay, what are the differences? They will go try to perfect it, push it into the system. If it's rejected, they put it back. As this is going on, time is going.
Okay.
You know, so that's why the longer it stays, the more they approach perfection and push it into the system.
Okay.
These are some of the things that central bank wants to avoid. Apart
from seeing it on social media and all that, I have only seen the 1,000 Naira note, but you have seen all of them, I want to believe.
Yes.
Some of us think that, what's the wahala about it? There isn't so much difference. It doesn't look better. Aesthetically, it's not more beautiful than the old ones. In fact, the older ones are more preferable. So what's the whole...
Okay, well, the design of the Naira is not meant to be beautiful because it's not going for beauty contest.
Just for the sake of changing.
Yes, sometimes for the sake of change. It may just be the color. It may just be that, well, the font size of the maybe 1,000, maybe less in size than what it was before. It may be the type too. But the important thing is that you will be told that, look, from so date, this one, whether you love it, whether you like to watch it, whether you like to put it at the back of it,
it's no more legal
tender. And this other one becomes the legal tender. And over time, you know, people will shift from here to this particular one, the new currency.
Whether it wins beauty contests
or not
is not what is on my mind.
Yeah, having it to spend.
On my mind is that, okay, now we are caught in a trap. Old notes we can't access, new notes we can't find. So the question I would ask, just like every other person, is, okay, where are these new notes? Where are they?
Now, the new notes. Okay, let me go back to what the central bank governor told us. He said that we have 3.2 trillion Naira notes in circulation. And out of that 3.2 trillion Naira notes in circulation, only about 500 billion to 600 billion always find their way back to the banking system. And with that, they will not be able to make meaningful policies, meaningful decisions on monetary policies, talking about interest rate, talking about inflation rate, talking about exchange rate. They will not be able to do that. Now, what they want to achieve, they want a situation where more of these notes find their way into the banking system, so they should be able to make policies. Now, where are those Naira notes? Good. The challenge, which all of us have come to realize, is the implementation, the logistics. That's where we have the challenge. Now, CBN, they have their own vault. The banks have their own vault. You have to move the money from where it is now, supposedly CBN vault, to the banks. From the banks now to our pockets. But what are they trying to avoid? Let me just quickly paint this scenario, just for us to see. Assuming I'm indisciplined and I have 500 million Naira stacked in my house, 500 million Naira. And John, you are so disciplined, you have 500 million naira as well. By this time, in the banking system, in your bank account, okay? Somebody comes to me, my uncles, my aunties, my cousins. Oh, uncle, I need 50,000 naira there. I just count.
Because you have it at home.
Because I have it at home. Take. He goes. Another comes, I need 10,000. Take. You know, what have I done? I've only given them. The joy they receive is only temporal. You on your own side, you put that 500 million in the bank. Now the bank will not be there watching the naira note. They want to create value with the naira. They want to create value with the money you give to them because they are paying salaries, they are paying you interest. What will they do? They want to give it out. Now you have A. A said, oh, I have this beautiful idea. I have a shoe. I can make shoe. Then he comes to you, the bank, and say, I need 10 million naira. Another person comes, oh, I can make hair, but I don't have the money. He comes to the bank, I need 10 million naira loan. Now you can imagine 50 people coming to the bank for 10 million naira. And they now come with that, and the bank decides to give them the 10 million naira. What has the bank done? They've created money for those people. Those people, the 50 people will be off the street because now they are employed. Now the 50 people, as they make progress, they will employ people. Maybe they employ one person, and those one person will have 100 people off the street. So with that, just putting your money in the bank.
Okay, that's the economic benefit.
The economic benefit.
Okay.
Now, I'm not unmindful of the fact that the suffering now is so much.
It's so much.
And what I will want the Central Bank of Nigeria to do is, look, they have the data, they have the records. You know how many ATMs you have per bank. You know where these ATMs are located. So if a bank has 100 ATMs and you know that a particular ATM can take minimum of, say, 8 million naira, CBN should be able to say, okay, Bank A, we know you have 100 ATMs. Of these 100 ATMs, we know that 80 are in this particular location. And we know that this particular location, they need cash. Take this 80 million naira. Make sure all those your ATM points, they are, they are active.
Okay. We're told that we have like 5 minutes left for this conversation.
Okay.
Yesterday was the deadline. 10th?
Yes, according to CBN.
Yeah. So, we have a scenario in England when the Queen passed. The new king had his pictures, you know, changed on the currency. But the two currencies were left, you know, to cohabit until 2024, I believe. And that's enough time for all of the logistics and planning and implementation to happen. What's different in our situation?
Okay, thank you very much. The difference is because of the historical perspective to it. In England, that you talked about now, about 80 to 85% of the currency are within the banking system. In Nigeria, the reverse is the case. We have about 85% of our currencies outside the banking system. So they can make their monetary policies and see results. We can make our policy results and it goes the other way.
But even with that, they still gave more time.
Yes.
We had only 3 months or thereabouts.
Yes, because of what they wanted to achieve. Or what we wanted to achieve. In America, for instance, they changed their note 1996 or thereabouts. Okay. The total currency in America then was $380 billion. Out of that, 2/3 were outside America, the United States of America. Okay. In Nigeria, we have 3.2 trillion out there, out of which we have only 600 billion. Now, we have the currency can still run, you know, to get that. In Nigeria, it ran from that December.
So where are we now? Where are we now? Old currency, new currency, how do we find it?
It's becoming more challenging because the Supreme Court gave ruling, okay, talking about telling the central bank and the federal government to say, okay, look, don't let the two old currencies still run up to 15th of February when they will decide on the matter.
I'll tell you where the new currencies are. I mean, before we wrap up, because we have just a minute. The new currencies are the Owambe parties. Because we see these same currencies that we are dying over. Yeah, we see them being sprayed at Owambe party. And really, it's quite sad. But I think we'll save that discussion for another day.
A final word for millions and trillions of Nigerians who really don't know what to do. You need this cash for your daily, you know, the food vendors, you're not going to do transfers with them. And even the transfers now in the banks, some banks are not even.
Yes, I think the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, is seeing all this. I've also seen
sure?
it. Yes, he is. He's a Nigerian. He has brothers and sisters. He has children. I mean, those people are also talking to him. And I will only say that it's just a matter of time. I want to see, I want to also think, I want to believe that this week we are stepping into, that it will be easier.
It had better happen.
It will happen. It will happen. And I think so. Yes, there are benefits to it, but we shouldn't allow those benefits to cloud our recognition of the fact that people are actually suffering.
It's crunch time. It is
actually in the interest of everybody for central bank to make the new Naira available.
We don't need more mayhem. We don't need more people dying, you know, because people have been falling down and dying at banks, and routes are coming over almost all over the place. So it's something that they need to do something about it.
I think they will. You know, there's just on a lighter note, you know, we are told then while growing up that when you are pushed to the wall, you react violently. Okay. You know, but in the case of Nigeria, when we are pushed to the wall, we create hope. In the wall, and we still keep running. But I think this time around, let the central bank, let those in authority, make available the Naira notes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. This one is really pinching. What can we say or do but to join millions of Nigerians and appeal to the federal government and the central bank governor and operators of banks. Please, please, please make this easy for us. It's our money. We put it there, and that's why you have a job. Please help us. We need that money. You have been of great help.
Thank you very much.
You've made it a little more easier than it was before we started the show.
Thank
now
you.
I know what
Please
to do on Monday.
drop some of the new currency. Okay, so some relief there, I must say. I mean, after all that explanation. And well, we see that the days ahead are critical, especially for the elections being, you know, almost here. Okay. We are grateful for your insight again on this matter.
It's so good to see us laughing, you know, after all of the agros. Now, our first guest there, Okwudili Chigbowu, giving us some hope. You're still watching Today with John and Helen live on PlusTvAfrica. We shall take a very quick break for some messages. When we return, it will be time to unpack the cashless economy. He talked very briefly about it and answer some of your questions. Is it working? Can it work? And how much more, you know, do we have to learn about it? Mr. Akin Fatunke is a chartered accountant and social commentator, and all of that in just a moment. He will be joining us very soon. Please don't go away.